I will officially call this meeting to order of the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation, the Electrical Safety and Licensing Advisory Board meeting on this Thursday, August the 25th, 2022. With that said, I'm going to ask Anna if she will do a roll call for determined quorum. Anna?
Yes, sir. Stacy Mighty.
Present.
Marcus Lundergreen.
Present.
Troy Webb.
Present.
John Sparrow. Christopher Bass.
I will officially call
Mark Matheny.
Here.
Lydell Toy.
Present.
Kim Allen.
Present.
And presiding officer Mark Roach.
present.
We have a quorum, sir.
Thank you very much, Anna. Okay, I ask everybody at this time, if you would mute your mics on your devices, and remind everybody that when you would like to speak, if you would start with your name, identify you by your name first. Okay? With that said, we'll go to item C, approval of the minutes. I'm sure everybody's had an opportunity to review the minutes. I'll give a minute, all right, for those of you who need to go back and look at them real quick. And upon completion of that, I will ask Anna to roll call for approval of the minutes.
We'll need someone to make a motion.
Right.
Mr. Chairman, Kim Allen, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Okay, I have a motion.
This Kit Bass. I'll second the motion.
Got a second. Gentlemen, ladies, is there any discussion on the minutes? There being none, Anna, if you'll roll call.
Stacy Mighty. Ma'am, you're muted.
Now you'll need to unmute to answer the roll call. Stacy's with us, right?
Yeah, she's here. I think she's looking for the button. It should be on the very bottom. It'll say unmute. There you go.
There you go. Sorry, guys. Yes,
Oh, there's Stacy.
I'm present. Okay.
We're voting for the minutes. Yay or nay?
Yay.
Okay, thank you. Marcus Lundergreen.
Aye.
Troy Webb.
Yay.
Christopher Bass.
Aye.
Mark Matheny.
Aye.
Lydell Toy.
Aye.
Kim Allen. Oh, sorry, you're muted. There you go.
I'm sorry. Aye.
And presiding officer Mark Roach.
All right.
The motion passes, sir.
Thank you. All right. In the interest of the board members who need to leave early, we're going to skip down to item F, discussion and possible recommendation of proposed amendments to an existing rule at 16 Texas Administrative Code, Chapter 73, Paragraph 73.100 regarding the electrician's program. The proposed rule amends 73.100 by stating that the compliance with Section 210.8, so paragraph F of the 2020 National Electric Code is not required. This agenda item includes discussion and the public comments received on the proposed amendments. Call on Doug Jennings.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman Roach. This is Doug Jennings, Assistant General Counsel for the department. It's great to see all of the board members and staff here today. I appreciate your time. I'm going to share my screen real quick so you can see what we'll be looking at today. This should spark some memories here. During our last meeting, this is the rule that the board recommended to publish in the Texas Register. So what it does, as you can see where I'm highlighting right here, it removes the applicability of Section 210.8F of the 2020 National Electrical Code. We'll call that the NEC, obviously. It says that that section is no longer required. Compliance with that section is no longer required. You'll recall that we had set a January 1st, 2023 deadline for that section to come into effect. However, the equipment on the market has not quite caught up with this problem. Jerry Daniel can elaborate a little bit on what's going on there. But in short, you'll recall this is the rule that requires GFCIs to be used on certain outdoor outlets and that service air conditioning and refrigeration equipment. Unfortunately, this is causing trips this is causing those systems to trip and become unavailable. And we all know, having lived through Texas summers, that you need your air conditioning available. Also know that during Texas winters, you need your heating available, and this is impeding both of those. So this is the language that you approved to be published. We submitted this for publication in the Texas Register, received several comments, all of which were positive. All of the responsive comments were positive. We had some that were off topic. And so what we're asking for today is for a motion to send this rule as it appears here, as it was published, to our governing commission for their approval. And I'm happy to answer any questions. And if there are any technical questions, I'd like to ask Jerry Daniel to field those for us. Thank you.
Members of the board, any questions? I think this has been an ongoing topic for quite a while now. And it doesn't look like there's any remedy on the horizon, on the immediate horizon either, from manufacturers of either the overcurrent protection devices or the heating and cooling equipment itself. So unless somebody's heard something different. Jerry, do you have anything that you would like to add on, Jerry Daniel?
Yes, if you take a look in my report, you'll see the things at the bottom, the statistics, everything you need to know about it. Right now, we have Code Panel 2 believes that it's only on certain ones, but you can see the statistics by ACA here in Texas that has put it together. And in fact, the single stage units or 14 SEER are causing more tripping problems. The ones they're saying it's not. The bottom line is the manufacturers has told us this is an 8-fold problem. They've got 8 things to work out. They've gave us a timeline of late 28, possibly into 30 before this technology is compatible together. So with that said, we put together as a task group. I was asked by an FPA to be on a task group for 210.8F. We put together, as you see in my report below, the 2 TIAs that we turned in. Both of them failed because of the September 1st, 26 date. Now, I will say Code Panel 2 did put out their own TIA that they passed, that the Correlating and Standards Committee's got to pass, but it's only till January 1st of 26. We're not going to be ready even then, so it'll have to come back. So at this point, until the manufacturers show us that this is compatible and works, we're going to continue to strike 210.8F out of the National Electric Code that we adopt because it's not working. And if you look on down at the statistics on the estimated number of deaths that we could have in the South region by using this technology when it doesn't work, we're estimating over 700 people could possibly die versus 4 people that might be electrocuted. But I would like to remind the board that this all goes back to one electrocution on a young man, just like Ferris Bueller's Day Off, skipping school and jumped on an air conditioner. When he grabbed the fence, which was grounded, it electrocuted him. Now, what was found out about that, it was an unlicensed, untrained, unqualified handyman that put that in, and we can't help that. The handyman's not going to go get the GFCI. The bottom line is the technology doesn't work at this point, and until it works, we can't expect people to put it in and have failures. I am a big proponent of GFCI. When it works, I totally believe in it, but until it works, we're going to have to take this course that we're taking.
Gotcha. Thank you, Jerry. Always do a good job. I just have one quick question, Jerry, and I'm not sure that you're going to allow anybody to peek under the curtain, so to speak. But 2023 code coming out, is NEC grappling with this particular issue in the upcoming code?
Yes, they are. And if the two TIAs pass that Code Panel 2 recommended, then you'll see in there that it won't start until January 1st, 26. Problem is the manufacturers aren't going to be ready, so they're going to have to figure out what they're going to do January 26 when this isn't working. So we'll move forward, like I said, with striking it out again in the 23. And if we have to in the 26, we'll do that too, but we'll look at it closer as we get more information. Maybe the manufacturer will speed up and get it done faster, but their projection is late 28 before they can possibly get it to happen.
Interesting. Okay. Members of the board, anybody else got any comments, questions, insight?
Mr. Chairman, Liddell Toy. I was on the electrical board with the city of San Antonio, and we have actually adopted this about 2 months ago, already within the San Antonio code. So I would probably recommend this amendment moving forward for the rest of the state.
Would you like to make that a motion?
Yes, I would.
Have a motion to adopt? Do I have a second?
Mr. Chairman, that's Kit Bass. I second the motion.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Any more questions?
Hey, Mark, I got one question for Jerry
Go ahead.
for Webb. Hey, if we know this is a continuing problem and we're striking it down, why do we continue to, why does it continue to input it into the NEC? Because every state's striking it, right? So why keep putting it back in there? We're just going to keep striking it.
Okay, I can't say every state's striking it. There are a few states that think it's okay because they don't have a lot of air conditioning up north. We probably
Right.
have more in the city of Houston than they have in their whole state. So with that said, I'm going to be as nice as I can. Code Panel 2, take a look at who compromises it. It is the manufacturers, and if the manufacturers vote together, they can get what they want. The bottom line is they don't want to let go of this. They want this in there, even though it don't work. I can only speculate that it comes back to what everything comes back to, the ultimate dollar and money.
Thanks, Jerry.
And the exposure thereof. Anybody else? All right. No more discussion then. Anna, if you'll roll call.
Yes, sir. Stacy Mighty,
Aye.
Marcus Lundergreen,
Aye.
Troy Webb, Christopher Bass,
Aye.
Mark Matheny,
Aye.
oh, I'm sorry, say that again, sir, I didn't hear you.
Aye.
Liddell Toy,
Aye.
Tim Allen,
Aye.
and presiding officer Mark Roach.
Aye.
Motion passes, sir.
Thank you, board members. I appreciate your time.
Doug, thank you very much for all the work you've done on this as well. You guys just do a phenomenal job for us.
Thank you.
Okay. And before I move back to item D and discuss anything there, Anna, who do we have behind the scenes keeping us between the ditches on our technology?
Well, today we have Michael Fickle. He's running our meeting in the background, having us live on YouTube. We also have Angelica Lopez Sparks and Delia Luna, our advisory board team, assisting us with other things as well.
Okay, perfect. I want to thank them for everything they do for us, keeping us straight. All right, then moving on to item D, public comment. Anna?
We had 3 public comments that were written and sent to the board yesterday afternoon, and we have no one who wishes to speak today.
Okay, and the 3 written comments were in relation to item F?
I believe so, yes, sir.
Okay, all right. All right, and there being no public comment, we'll move on to item E, staff reports. Call on Lisa Hodek for the licensing division. Is she here today? There she is. Okay. Hi, Lisa.
Good afternoon, Chairman and board members. I'm Lisa Hodek, the licensing manager. And we have the statistics in front of us with the master electricians, all of last fiscal year, and then September through July. Our total population is at 17,333 for masters. So that is an increase. Our master sign, the total population is the same. We have the new licenses have grown a little, but the population is the same depending on renewals and where we're at on that particular day. Journeyman continues to increase. The total population is just over 37,000. And we have the Journeyman applied by 7,000 hours, and that is through July 31st. The number of applicants that have applied using the 7,000 hours that have received their license is 380. And so far, we've received 781 applications. Journeyman sign, total population is 315. New licenses issued, that's pretty low at 19. Journeyman lineman, also fairly low. Increase to the total population is 46. We've issued 6 new licenses. Journeyman industrial electrician is climbing some with total population at 417. Issued 134 new licenses. Maintenance, the total population is at 811. Residential wireman, the total population is at 1798. So there's a slight climb there as we've issued 233 new licenses. Apprentices continue to grow. The total population is at 92,162, and we've issued 33,570 new licenses. Sign apprentices is also continuing to climb with new licenses issued at 999. Total population is 2,035. Contractors is also increasing at new licenses issued 1,018 and total population 11,360. Electrical sign contractors, a slight increase at 36 new licenses issued and total population is 558. Residential appliance installers, total population is 2,035. Residential appliance installation contractors, total population is 703. And combined, we are looking at total population for individuals is 154,772. Total population for facilities, 12,621. Which gives us a combined total population of 167,393. Does anyone have any questions regarding the advisory report?
Yeah, just, I noticed, can you scroll back down to the maintenance? Scroll back up to the maintenance?
Right there.
Actual attrition. I wonder what's, anybody got any speculation, or do we know why that number would actually decline?
I do not know. No, considering that last fiscal year was just 8 and now we're at 7. So overall, it's just kind of a lower population group.
Okay. Members of the board, anybody got any questions, comments?
And the last thing that I would like to inform everyone, this is my last electrician advisory board report, as well as my last advisory board report meeting. I am retiring after 35 years with TDLR. I'm excited for my next venture of relaxation and a little vacationing and whatever else may come up. The electrician board has always been one of my favorites because I was there at the very beginning in 2004. So it's been a pleasure working with all of you as well as the industry. I've accumulated a few gray hairs because of it, especially when the grandfather provision opened up again. But it's still been a pleasure. It's been interesting, and thank you.
Lisa, thank you very, very much. I'm going to open it up to all the board members. I saw David Gonzalez just got online with us, and he was giving me the signal to suggest to the board that we entertain a motion not to allow Lisa to retire.
That is an excellent motion. David Gonzalez, deputy, excellent motion. I don't think we're going to be able to keep her here. She's going to go kicking and screaming, I'm sure, but she's definitely served the state of Texas and this board with enthusiasm. And yeah, we couldn't have done this stuff without her. She was at the ground floor, the 2 grandfathering periods. Just really appreciate your work and wish you the best in your retirement.
Great working with you, Lisa. Best wishes for a long retirement. Other board members, any comments that you'd like to? Best wishes.
Thank you, Lisa, for all your hard work. And I think David was going like 2 because I think he said you got 2 gray hairs.
2 grandfathering periods. 2 grandfathering periods.
Congratulations, Lisa.
Thank you very much.
Congrats, Lisa. Have a wonderful retirement.
Thank you.
Yeah, congrats.
So Mark, did we get to vote on if we accept her resignation?
I think that is a point of order. All right.
No, there you go.
Oh my. Good for you, Lisa. Good for you.
Thank you all.
Okay.
Thanks, Lisa.
Thank you very much. You're going to be missed. All right, moving on then to item E2, Customer Service Division. We're going to call on Don Robinson.
Good afternoon, Advisory Board members and TDLR staff. My name is Dawn Robinson. I'm one of the managers in customer service. Before you see our emails and calls for fiscal year 2021 and 2022. Emails are down from 2021 from 6,113 to fiscal year 2022 to 3,666. The actual calls are down as well. In fiscal year 2021, we had 60,410 calls. From year to date for fiscal 2022, we're at 45,547. If you have any other questions, I'm here to assist. Thank you.
That's interesting. We've had an uptick in actual licenses and a downtick in communication, huh?
Yes, sir.
Everybody must be figuring it out.
I think they're going more to the website and being able to do a lot more via the website. So I think that's one reason.
Right. Everybody's becoming more tech savvy but me. So. All right. Any questions? Anybody of Don? Members of the board? Thank you very much, Don. We really appreciate what you do. All right. We're moving on then to item E3, Enforcement Division. We're calling Robert Reyes.
Mr. Chairman, how are you doing today, sir?
I am better than I deserve, sir. How about you?
Doing well, thank you. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, my name is Robert Reyes, prosecuting attorney with the Enforcement Division. Since we've had 3 new board members from our last meeting in May, and also before discussing the statistics, like to give you all a brief overview as to our enforcement complaint resolution process, that we all can understand a little bit better what how a case goes through our system and our protocols. The enforcement division is made up of 3 sections: intake, investigations, and prosecution. First, intake receives a complaint and determines whether or not TDLR has jurisdiction over the situation and if there is enough information to pursue the complaint. If so, the case is opened and an investigator is assigned to investigate the facts and the matter behind the case. The investigator interviews the interested parties, which are the complainant and the respondent, all identified witnesses by those 2 parties, gathers documentation, photos, exhibits, anything that will help us review the case, and if necessary, will consult with a subject matter expert, whether they're in the Regulatory Program Management Division or whether it is a subject matter expert that is on contract with the department. Once all available information is obtained, the investigator writes their investigative report and forwards the case to a prosecutor for review. The assigned prosecutor will review all the materials in the case file and determine how to dispose of the case. Always, the prosecutor's main goal is the health and safety of the public, so we strive for compliance with the program laws and rules. The case may be resolved through a closing or warning letter, perhaps because there was not enough evidence to prove that there was a violation had occurred, or perhaps the respondent had remediated the situation to the satisfaction of the complainant. Alternatively, the prosecutor may decide to pursue the case formally through what is called a Notice of Alleged Violation, or NOAV. Within the NOAV, the prosecutor will seek an administrative penalty or a license sanction that is based on the enforcement plan and the specific penalty matrix for the program. The NOAV will also outline the facts which support the allegation of a violation of any specific law or rule within the program. Once the NOAV has been delivered to the respondent, it can be resolved in one of 3 ways. First, a default may result, which means there was proper notice given to the respondent by certified mail, return receipt requested, and the respondent, although receiving that documentation, did not respond in a timely fashion. After notice of default and a little bit of extra time added to that deadline date, an order of default is drafted and sent to the executive director for signature. Second, there could be an agreed order entered into by the prosecutor and the respondent, which means an agreement for the resolution of the case is settled. There's a settlement, and usually that involves some sort of negotiated penalty or license sanction. But the department representative, the prosecutor, and the respondent agree to it. That agreement is memorialized. Those terms are memorialized in an agreed order and also signed by the executive director. Third, the respondent may request a hearing in the State Office of Administrative Hearings before an administrative law judge. This is in the event that they dispute the allegations made in the NOAV. Once the case is presented before the ALJ issues a proposal for decision. And ALJ is the administrative law judge who hears the hearing at the State Office of Administrative Hearings. The proposal for decision is then delivered to both the department and the respondent. The case is then presented to the commission, who makes the final decision on the outcome of the case. The commission may adopt the proposal for decision as it was issued, or they may decide to amend it in certain ways, and then they are allowed to also discuss and levy the penalty that they feel is necessary in the matter, if any. So that's a brief overview of our complaint resolution process. Getting into the statistics briefly here. We just had our meeting, like I said, May 25th, 2022. So you all have not only those numbers, but also the numbers before you for this August 25th, 2022 meeting. What I'm going to do is verbally offer you some of the numbers that that occurred in that interim time in that 3 months. Basically, starting with the key statistics at the bottom of page 1 of 6, you'll see the cases open there. In the last 3 months between June, let's see here, between the last period of numbers, which ended March 31st, 2022, and these current set of numbers, which are through June of 2022, we've opened 507 cases in the electrical safety program, which is a massive amount when we think about the number of people who are actually working it with, who are myself and my legal assistant Linda Coy, my teammate Amanda Barrera, and her legal assistant Cindy Fletcher, and of course we have the inspection attorneys who help us with the unlicensed cases, and they are Hunter McKinley, Sarah McKinney, and Rachel Session, and their legal assistants. So a lot of cases come in basically every month. With ELC cases, they never stop because it's either really, really hot or really, really cold or somewhere in between, but not too much with the comfort levels. So there's always something going on in this program, and it's one of the highest volume programs that we have here in the department. In terms of cases closed, we have closed 434 cases the past 3 months between the group, between all of us, and that is 14% of all cases closed. Going back just for one other statistic, the 507 open cases in the program the past 3 months comprise 16% of all the cases open throughout all the programs here at the department. So almost 1/5 of the complaints and the cases opened have to do with electrician and the work here in the program. Even though we've had a massive amount of cases opened, we've also disposed of a lot of cases, and we have been able to decrease the time that cases have been open on average from 175.77 days down to 173.80 days. So even though it's only a day and a half, that is a lot of work that has been put in by a lot of staff, and it's very appreciated. However, even though we've been doing we've been bringing down the time that cases have been open across the agency, the age of the program has actually, ages of cases across all programs has gone up just about over a day, from 216.96, as was reported in the May 25th report, to 218.77 days here in this current report. So that's another statistic just to show that we're doing a lot of great work, and there's not a whole lot of people doing the work. So again, the effort, I appreciate the effort of all my teammates and all the staff here at, in the enforcement section and division. Let's see here. As far as the pie charts that you see on page 2 of 6, we have the consumer complaints in the division. I'm sorry, in the program has gone down 3% from 33 to 30. The departmental complaints has stayed even at 1%, but criminal history cases that have been opened in the past 3 months has gone up 3% to 69% from 66. Lastly, we've assessed $70,000 in penalties in the past 3 months through NOAVs, and we've collected $11,125 in that same period. Lastly, the alleged violations at opening, you see there at the bottom of page 2, the top 10 that were listed in the May 25th, 2022 report have held their same positions in this report. So we still have the same issues of contracting without licenses and evading responsibility to clients, and so on and so forth, as you can read in the report. And lastly, the top 3 violations that resulted in discipline from the May 25th report also hold their current current positions in the top 3 on the top of page 3, where we have criminal history cases, those who contract without licenses, and those who evaded responsibilities to their clients. Happy to answer any questions y'all may have at this time.
Robert, did I hear you correctly that electrical is becoming one of the more prevalent licenses in TDLR that we're having trouble with?
Maybe not that last part, but the cases that come in, the amount of cases that are filed, it was 16% of the cases that were filed these past 3 months between our last meeting and those numbers in the May 25th meeting, and the numbers here, which went through June of this year. So we do have. I don't think it's anything abnormal. I mean, we have also, obviously have bad actors in all our programs. The electoral program is just such a massive program. It's one of the top 5 largest programs here in the department, and we have 37 programs that we regulate, 37 industries that we regulate. So I think it's just a product of how big it is, but I don't think there's anything to be very concerned about. Of course, we want to root out all bad actors, but at the same time, I think things are going exceedingly well with the program in terms of how we're able to dispose of the cases, and overall the amount of information we get from the public and from professionals to help us make the right decisions in all these cases.
Gotcha. So we don't need to blow the whistle to call a massive across the state of Texas self-reflection meeting to.
I mean, self-reflection is always a good thing. I don't think I would never say don't, but at the same time, I believe that we have a really good industry here in Texas. Of course, we have some people who don't act properly or in accordance with the laws and rules, but I think for the most part, everybody wants to and everyone's trying, and especially with this unprecedented period that we've all gone through. A lot of nerves are frayed. A lot of people are feeling a lot of different things because the world changed so quickly for so many. And so you have, a lot more different emotions about things, and people are able to. And so I think everyone's doing the best they can. I think everyone can always strive to do better. I think that if you all had a conversation like that within the industry, I would be very much appreciative, and maybe it would help all of us have a better life at the end.
I hear you. Members of the board.
Presiding officer, I wanted to say, Mary Winston here, that we have the statistics, or we can get them. I don't have them, but they do exist. So if you ever want any more statistics related to our different industries, we can definitely provide that for you.
In order to see how we compare, Mary?
Sure.
Yeah. Any members of the board have anything, any questions, comments?
Yeah, Troy, so I just want to ask you, because I've heard in telltale signs that there are fake electrical licenses being presented out there right now. Have y'all come across that?
I do not have any specific information about that. I have not seen a case come across my desk, but I can ask our management information analysts about that and see if they've seen anything. And also I can discuss that possibility with our intake to see if there's been any complaints received. But as far as a case coming across my desk in regards to any fake licenses, I have not seen that personally. But I'll definitely follow up with those 2 points of contact for you.
And Mark, I kind of asked that too, because I think some contractors are having some of the employees come in and present fake license without dual checking them with the state.
Oh, Mr. Webb, Mr. Mary Winston here. Mr. Webb, please encourage them to file a complaint with our enforcement division.
Mark Roach, I've got Troy and Robert. This thing, wow, kind of like they're counterfeiting. I hate to say this, I never did it, but I had friends that did it back in my day with the fake ID, driver's license, so they could get in the clubs.
I think the statute of limitations has run on that,
Run
Mr.
out?
Roach,
Okay, so all
for
right,
me
so
and you.
I can speak
So
freely.
you can speak freely.
Right, but I think probably everybody in the room here remembers those days. That they probably still go on. I don't know, but anyway, wow. So it's in our industry, huh? Son of a gun. Hmm.
Yeah,
I've got a fake AARP card.
Hey, those things pay off. They got some serious discounts tied to them. Anybody else have anything? Jerry, Daniel, do you have anything to add to this little situation regarding the licenses?
In regards to fake license,
Right.
I'm just going to confirm that Mr. Webb is correct. I'm not going to go any further because
Okay. All right. Wow. Wow. Man. Well, I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I have become very adept at getting onto the TDLR website and going into licenses, and I'll get a call from time to time to say, hey, I've got this guy in here. He said he's got a license, and I'll get a little bit of information and go look it up and either confirm that he does or confirm that he doesn't. So, but I hadn't heard about the counterfeited licenses trying to be presented and then, distract the potential employer from actually looking it up. Wow. Unbelievable.
And Mr. Roach, that is one point that now that you brought it up, that would be great to make right now. Please discuss this with your fellow colleagues in the industry, that the TDLR website is available 24/7, 365 for them to review licenses and review that information before they hire anybody. That's important, whether it be in this program or ACR or any other program. Please review our licensing database, enter in that name that they're giving you and that license number to ensure that they're actively and validly licensed with us before hiring them. Because if they do any work and they're not licensed and they're not being properly supervised under the laws and rules as the laws and rules state, that contractor is going to have some liability with us. And so it's very important that contractors and licensees and those in the industry utilize that tool that we offer for free on our website that's available, like I said, 24/7, 365. And that way they can ensure that the people that they're hiring are educated to do the work, have the necessary experience for the license to do the work, and are licensed with us to ensure that they're taken care of and the citizens of the state of Texas are taken care of as well.
I appreciate that. And accolades to TDLR and the way that you guys have developed the technology to enable everybody in the field to have easy access to that information.
Thank you, sir.
Board members, anything else of Robert? None being heard, then we'll move on. Thank you, Robert. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Moving on to item E4, Education and Examination Division, and I'll call on Rebecca Armas. There she is.
Chairman Roach, advisory board members. I'm Rebecca Armas with the Education and Examination Division. Before you, you have some statistics, some of the examination statistics. Pretty much the same as far as the trends. They've all stayed about where they are. I just wanted to kind of direct your attention to the very last page is where we give you the breakdown of the statistics for those journeymen that are taking their examinations early at 7,000 hours. Again, remember it breaks down. This is from the last time that we presented. So this was the period of May 1st through August 5th. And you'll see there that we've got, whether they're an apprenticeship program or just coming in and then just are not in any type of program. And you'll see how the statistics show, the pass rate's a little higher for those that are in that apprenticeship program. So there's kind of a telltale sign that, those programs with that education does provide a little help when it comes to passing these examinations.
Interesting.
And that is all that I have for you this afternoon. I'm free to answer any questions if anyone has any.
Okay, Rebecca, that's very interesting. Huh. Okay, members of the board. Anything of Rebecca? There being none heard. Okay, Rebecca, thank you very much. That's pretty telltale, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, thanks, Rebecca.
Thank you.
All right, moving on. Item E5, Regulatory Program Management Division, call on Jerry Daniel.
Morning, advisory board members, commissioner. It's great to be here today. If you take a look at my report on the outreach of meetings, sweeps, and other notable activities, you'll see we spent a week in Boston for the 2023 NEC 70, the vote on it. Very interesting new products we're going to be seeing come out really shortly. This is something that's very important to us, keeping up with the code. That's why we got on the code panel. I am on code panel, and so is our deputy chief, Mr. Larry Reichel, on code panel 17, because it really concentrates on 680 swimming pools, appliances, and that's what we really want to focus on. There's no reason anybody should be electrocuted in the water, so we're trying to help that out. But we do see the trends that's going on, that's happening, and we're trying to make a change. We need more enforcers, more contractors on the code panels to equal it out and make it an even process. Right now, that's missing on some of the code panels. You can look and see. This year, during National Enforcement Month, on our sweeps, we decided to go to little places that had called for us for a while. They don't have big populations, but they still deserve it. They're part of Texas. So instead of concentrating on making big numbers, like over 1,500 license checked last year, we concentrated on getting to the little areas. We knew there wouldn't be a lot there, but in 2 days, we traveled over 1,000 miles hitting all these places. And again, there wasn't big numbers, but we were able to get out and address concerns from smaller places in Texas. So pretty much during the month of June, we seen Boston and 3 borders of Texas. So we were really moving along and doing what we had to. Pick it right back up at BPI in Irving, which is very good. We not only got to see a lot of people starting to get out and move again, but we also got to see that because of the retirement from the COVID, we're seeing some younger people come into it, which is good because we are very short on people 35 or under in this industry. So it was good to see that. We had one thrown in there that's not in there that came up. We were asked to go to the IAC Safety Summit in Houston on the 15th. As you can see, we not only had exam development that week, but we also had NFPA 1078 and 78 on the second draft. So that was just a very, very busy week. As you can tell, on the 16th, we were doing exam development and I was sitting in. I will tell you that Mr. Reichel has been named as my alternate on 1078 and 78. NFPA is created an inspector board that is going to write an exam and have a inspector credential. Not only was I selected, but Larry was selected also for NFPA to help write that exam for electrical inspectors. So we were asked some years ago by our executive director to take this program nationally. We've took it as national as we can get it at this point, being code members on the National Electric Code, being members on 1078 and 78, being members on the Electrical Inspector Board, and now members to help write the Electrical Inspector exam for NFPA. Along with that, we have our National Electrician Reciprocity, which we will be hosting in Bandera, Texas, the 26th through the 28th of September. If any of you advisory board members would like to see what goes on or meet some of the other states, you would be welcome to be our guest. But remember, we can't have a quorum. So if you are, get a hold of me and I'll tell you what's going on both days. So you might select to just come down a day. The examination, as always, I put ours against the best. I think we do a great job in developing the exam, but not only that, we have a fair process of who's there. And I am so happy that we now have advisory board members that sit on our exam committee as SMEs. That would be Kim and Liddell. And I do appreciate it. I appreciate when you come, Mr. Roach, to see, because from time to time we have that ugly head rear up that says, oh, that exam's not fair or something. And with you as advisory boards that are there and see the process, you know that it's fair. You know, we go through a vetting process and everything that's put there is fair. If there's a problem with it, we look at those problems and make sure that it's not a problem. And if it is, get it corrected. So as I tell everybody, I would definitely put our SMEs and our exam against anybody in the United States of America. I am very, very happy at what we've done and where we've developed this and brought it to. If you take a look, I put this information to go with the 210-8F. We've discussed it, but if you'd like to look at any of the statistics, any of the merits, anything that's been composed and put together, it's in that part of the report. And at this point, I'll be happy to discuss anything y'all would like to discuss on the report.
Good job, Jerry. Any members of the board got any questions, comments for Jerry?
I'd just like to say that Jerry and Larry did an outstanding job at the exam review. And yeah, I totally agree with you, Jerry. That exam is more than fair, and the questions and the answers that we went over, I'll put that up against any exam in the country. And you guys have done a great job. So thank you very much for doing this.
Thank you for being part of it, sir.
It is a phenomenon to watch. That is the smartest bunch of guys I've ever been surrounded by. Anybody else? All right, Jerry, thank you very, very much for everything that you do. Your presentations are always great.
And the same to you, and thank each one of the advisory board members for what they do for us.
Moving on, item E6, Executive Office Update. Call Mary Winston.
Good afternoon, board. I'm going to second that. Jerry and Larry do an outstanding job. Whenever we've had hurricanes, floods, whatever, they're out there working with the citizens of Texas and different communities to make sure everything is safe. They know everything. They are national players, right? And we know that we can rely on both of them to provide direction. And yes, thank you, because we do have questions about testing and so forth. But because everyone's in the trenches, we know that these tests are good. We work very hard with subject matter experts and work to try to do the best that we can to provide for our licensees and the citizens of Texas. So I wanted to just kind of second that emotion, because Jerry's really not going to shine a light on what he does. Neither is Larry, but I want him to know that we all appreciate him in the agency as well as just in the industry. So this report starts off talking about the sunset. So we have sunset, and when we met last time, I did discuss the fact that we had been continued for 12 years. So we're going to just toot our own horn and say that, but we're also within that toot letting you know that though TDLR was continued for the maximum time as allotted by the sunset staff and commission, we also were found to have some things that we could work on and we could improve. And we appreciated that, because we do get a lot of accolades. They say, oh, TDLR does this or that great. And we kind of take it and we say thank you. But that lets us know kind of what we also need to work on, which is what this report does. So those things are still in process. We're still working on improving based on different comments, and you can find that report on our website. Within the state of Texas, we go for, as a Title 8 agency, and we have kind of like a roundabout that we do in planning for our budget and how we're going to operate. One thing is sunset to let us know, are you still viable as a state agency? Are you still helpful? Are you still useful? Are you still doing the things that you were created to do? And we got a yes there. But then we went to strategic planning. That's the time where we ask, what have we done that's good, bad, ugly? What could we do better? We were hindered from going out during the initial outbreak of our pandemic, but we did in the spring of this year get to go out into several cities in Texas and to actually talk to public members of the public and licensees and ask them these questions. So with that, we developed our strategic plan. We also have that available on our website. This lets us know what we can do and what the public and the licensees are asking, what we've done that works well and what doesn't. So next on that sort of merry-go-round, we have our legislative appropriation request. This LAR is what we're asking for. It's all part and parcel of what we do. And this year we received the request to get this done just before the 4th of July holiday. We had approximately 30 days. It was all hands on deck, and we have this available for you. I will also want to thank Brandy Corrales and Tony Cuvion, who took their kind of the lead on this because they're our financial gurus, with Brandy being our CFO. And this helps us determine what in our programs, all of our programs need more money, how we're operating, what we need to operate in the future. So then we head on down, and pretty soon we're going to head to our legislative session. So after the legislative session, we find out what our legislators have given us to work with and what new bills have been passed, and then we go into bill implementation. So this is something that many of you have seen time and time again, but this is just kind of giving us a rundown of how state agencies work and how even when we don't understand or know what's TDLR doing back there, we're working because we know that the next thing is coming. And some of these reports overlap, and we make sure that they are done well because we have a lot of people working in the background to do them. With that, I want to move on to our communication outreach statistics. This snapshot of the views that the public is doing. Don gave the report in customer service, and we noted that, wow, reaching out to customer service has gone down in a decently substantial way. We believe that this is because we have the information available on the website. More folks are going on the website to actually get that information without having to call into customer service. And that's quicker if we have it here. Over the past 6 months through August 15th, there have been over 500,000 views on this website, an average of almost 3,000 per day. I also want to let you know that Josh Schroeder and his team are working on improving our website, looking for things that maybe are taking more than a click or two to get to, because we've gotten our to a place in society where we're accustomed to be able to get to a website, find what we need, and not have to hunt around for it. We don't want our folks going to the website and having to hunt around. So he's meeting with all of us individually in different groups concerning our different web pages or what's on that web page, to where he can know what can be reached quicker. And it sounds like, based on the customer service report, that we're already kind of achieving that goal. Most in your industry, because you're always on the move and working, do assess this from our smartphones. We have about a third that assess from the desktop computer and a tiny fraction from a tablet. Top reasons for visiting the site: how to apply for a new electrical apprentice license, how to renew an apprentice electrician license, applying for a new journeyman electrician license, electrician exam info, and how to renew a journeyman electrician license. So a lot of information on how to get licensed and what we need to do and exam information is being located on our webpage. So customer service is not being overwhelmed with those requests. If you have any questions, please let me know. We also have Mr. David Gonzalez, who's available for comment if he would like, our Deputy Executive Director. And that is the end of the report.
Thank you very much, Mary. David, where is David? He's on my screen here somewhere.
Thank you, Mary.
There he is. Anything, David, anything you'd like to add?
Deputy Executive Director David Gonzalez, just a few highlights because they are important to the agency and so important to y'all as a program here at the agency. In regards to sunset, we have gone through a sunset and we got the 12 years, but in this last sunset report, there was some significant legislation that is very substantial. In my 27 years here, this is probably one of the biggest things we've had to do, which is the consolidation of our barber and cosmetology programs. Now, it doesn't affect electricians so much except for getting your hair cut or getting your nails trimmed. But for an agency, it's substantial because we're having to do a lot of work behind the scenes while we're continuing with all of our other programs. So just know that this is a heavy lift for us. This is our largest program, is the cosmetology program. Electricians and ACI coming, second and third on the populations and stuff. But this cosmetology takes up a lot of our time and our resources. The other thing related to Sunset is they identified for those programs where we have an inspection component, risk-based inspections is what they like us to focus on. So you may have seen our field inspectors with some of our other programs out in the field doing their work and being overwhelmed, not enough people to cover the state. The Sunset report identifies that maybe we focus our efforts on those risk issues that are going to cause more safety issues, so we can cover more with less. And that's what we've been trying to do. So on that sunset bill, strategic planning, kudos to the electrical industry. So I actually traveled with some of our staff around the state. Some of them were in San Antonio, the Valley, Arlington, Houston. I particularly saw Arlington and Houston and saw that some electricians showed up to give us that feedback in person. And we have missed that. We do enjoy making contact with the industry in person. We've always had virtual strategic planning sessions available to get that feedback, but it's not quite the same as being in person and hearing every electrician or every electrical supply with the issues that they're dealing with at the local community level. So it's important to us that y'all participate. We don't get better unless we get that kind of feedback that we hear related to our rules when we're in advisory board meetings or out there doing our strategic planning. It actually helps us for our vision, and these are reports available on our website. They're not just for show. These are the plans that we use to dictate what we're going to be doing. So our agency is familiar with the things that are included in it, and it provides us the direction in the future. And the last thing I'll highlight, the legislative appropriation request, kind of significant because that's funding, that's our budget. This particular legislative appropriation request is significant for us and a little bit different. We haven't done too many exceptional items in past reports, a few, but not a lot. This particular go around, we are making some substantial requests because of the times that we're in. We are still looking to pursue a licensing system that consolidates the 9 disparate systems. We made some progress, but we need more help and we need more monies to do that. That's our number one exceptional item request. Again, you can see that on our website under our LAO financial reports. The second one, and I'm sure y'all are all dealing with it, is requesting monies and resources to make sure we're competitive in the market to keep the staff we have. You know we're losing Lisa, who's got 35 years of institutional knowledge. We want to keep everybody that's here, and we want to be able to recruit others to work for the state, but it is very competitive here in the Austin area. Some of y'all are probably feeling it across the state of Texas. Some of our program staff have the ability to work remotely. So like our customer service staff, we don't have to hire from the Austin region. We can hire from across the state of Texas. They can be hired from El Paso or in East Texas. Where they're living at is where they work from, and we're able to be more competitive. But a lot of the jobs that are here in the Austin area, we're competing with Tesla and Samsung, or in the Houston area with a lot of the industry that's there. So we are requesting a substantial amount of monies to reward our staff and compensate them so we can keep them. otherwise we will be dire straits. And I do expect the comptroller and many other state agencies will be making similar requests. So y'all already know we're competing with them for resources and manpower in addition to competing with you guys. And that's all I wanted to share. Just know that we are working hard behind the scenes. We got a lot of balls in the air, but we really can't do it without y'all's input. So thank you for being here. Thank y'all for studying the issues, voting on the issues. Most of the people in the public don't know that you don't get paid for this stuff. And I'm just glad that y'all are able to contribute and give us the feedback that we need. Thank y'all.
Thank you very much, David. Stand by just a moment. Sorry, my dog was barking in the background there. Thank you very much, David. Mary, you as well. You guys do just a fantastic job. I know y'all don't hear from me very often. Anna probably more than most, Doug, but Jerry hears from me all the time, and he's always answered the phone. So thank y'all very much for the job that you do. And then, of course, we got the legislative session coming up soon, and I'll be visiting with some of the legislators, and I will put in the good word for y'all that they need to make y'all competitive. All right. Anything from any of the board members for Mary or David?
Nope, thank y'all.
All right, you guys, thank you very much. Moving on then to item G, recommendations for agenda items for the next board meeting. I know that we've had some discussion regarding the industrial journeyman's license and the NCCER involvement in that process, and there has been some changes. Is that something that the advisory board needs to look at, or is that handled entirely internally?
Mr. Roach, this is Doug Jennings, Assistant General Counsel. I think we are working with NCCER to review their exams, and we can always bring our findings to the advisory board or to a work group, and we'd be happy to do that.
Okay, all right. So it doesn't need to be an agenda item yet, or possibly.
I wouldn't think so quite yet, but in an upcoming meeting, maybe not the next one.
All right, perfect. Any of the board members have anything else that they would like to see placed on the agenda for our next meeting? Other than reimbursement for travel expenses and
Presiding Officer Roach, as you know, even if we don't have any items today, please reach out at advisory.boards@tdlr.texas.gov. And aside from staff reports and updates, and we don't know what else what other wisdom Jerry will drop on us, but if we get other information that we need before our next meeting, just contact that email or give us a call.
Right. And members of the board, we're all an equal voice on this thing. It's not something that you need to ask me about. If if something comes up, send it to the office there, and they'll get it out to everybody. I do have one other thing that I was going to remind everybody of, the fact that we've got the electrical program complaint prioritization process, where several of us have agreed to sit on a work group. And I think y'all have seen your emails from Kim Ferrero. Did I pronounce correctly? Ferrero. And that you pay attention to that. I think she set it for September the 12th for our work group meeting. And with that said, item H, discussion of date, time, and location of the next board meeting. We always rely heavily, almost exclusively, on you guys, Anna, Mary, David, Doug, Jerry.
Yes, sir. We'll poll the board for our next advisory board meeting, since there's not anything needing to do anytime soon.
Okay. All right.
Mr. Chairman, Kim Allen, is there
Yes, sir.
any outlook in the forecast of being back in person?
I'll leave that up to the folks here with us.
I know we do the exam advisory board meeting in person. We did some in virtual too, and they just weren't the same
Right.
virtual as they were in person. And so I was just wondering.
Good question.
That
Anybody?
we do have, Mary Winston, we do have an option. This was approved by actually House Bill 1560, I believe, because as you know, you don't get paid for this. You get paid a whole zero, and you also aren't reimbursed for travel. And we have members coming from all over the state, and that made it a little difficult for some folks to be here. But we are not forced to do it virtually. It just has been a way to eliminate some of the stress and costs for our members. So yes, we'll keep you posted.
Looks like Jerry has a question or comment.
I did want
Jerry?
to say the 23 code should be approved by the Standards Committee this week or next week. So we will need to start the adoption process of the 23, looking at September 1st of 23 to start the 23 National Electric Code.
Thank you, Jerry. Mary, so we have the legislative the session coming up. The likelihood of our next board meeting, or Anna, I think you're heavy in the scheduling for it. Are we looking at anything? We probably won't be looking at a meeting till after session it closes next May, June, July.
Unless Doug is the general counsel for this program, or Jerry is the expert in the program, has something that they have to bring in the meantime. As you know, Mr. Roach, yes, during legislative session, it's all hands on deck, and we're at the Capitol working there, and things are in process. So we can't meet until they've made decisions. So you're right. Unless something comes up, this next meeting may be after session. Doug?
Yes, thank you, Mary. Doug Jennings, Assistant General Counsel. We will start putting together the timeline for the rulemaking to adopt the 2023 NEC, and we'll make sure that it is in time to have that adoption effective date of September 1st. And so we may meet before session is fully over, just to make sure that we meet that deadline. But anyway, we still have to put that together, but we'll make sure that we're in great shape for having that adopted by our usual time.
Yeah, but it does look like we're looking to be more of 6 months versus a quarterly thing.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Any questions from any other members of the board about anything you'd like to point out?
Yes, Mark. Hey, Troy Webb, board member. Since we lost such a valuable team member in Lisa, is there a replacement already stated for Lisa?
So I'm Gonzalez, Deputy Executive Director. There is no other Lisa Hodek at our agency. She was a unique being. But I will tell you, she's got competent staff. We've got other individuals that have been trained on a lot of the programs that we oversee. So we are prepared for this, but there isn't another Lisa Hodek. She's very fond of her, and we are going to miss her. But succession planning is a challenge at any agency and even in the private sector. I know because you get used to certain things. Our goal is in this agency to train our staff and have them prepared, but you can never prepare for persons that have 35 years of institutional knowledge. You're going to do your best, and where we fall short, we're going to take those lessons, learn them, and do better next time. But we have some pretty good staff to back her up. And right now, we've got staff that are thinking about, oh my gosh, who's going to take over her responsibilities while she's gone? And we're going to post some positions and these kind of things. So I think we're prepared. We'll see. We'll see if you like the next one that's here, giving the next report. All right.
Yeah, Mr. Webb, Lisa managed a fantastic team. So she's not leaving us hanging.
Good to know. Good to know. Anything else? All right, then, before I close this thing out, my gratitude, speak on behalf of the board to Michael, Vicki, Delia, and Angelica for another stellar performance of keeping this thing static free. And with that said, anything else, Mary, Doug, David?
That's
Members
it.
of the board, I will
Thank you, sir.
declare this meeting adjourned at 2:14. And
Thank you very much.
appreciate working with every one of y'all.
Thank you, board members.
Thank you all.
Thanks, everybody.
Jerry,
Everybody.
Y'all be
Lisa,
safe.
Doug, Rebecca. Thanks, everybody.